INTRO 0 o'clock to 0:45. Think about the last time you had to speak English in front of someone. Maybe it was a job interview. Maybe it was a meeting. Maybe it was just a conversation with a stranger who spoke English. Maybe it was something as simple as placing an order in English at a cafe. And right before you opened your mouth, something happened inside you. Your heart beat a little faster. Your mind went slightly blank. You started second-guessing every word before it came out. And the English you had practiced so many times in your head suddenly felt very far away. That feeling has a name, and it is not a language problem. It is a confidence problem. Today we are talking about the role of confidence in speaking English, why it matters more than most learners realize, where the fear comes from, and exactly how to build the kind of quiet, unshakable confidence that lets your English flow freely, no matter who is listening. Here is something that most English courses, textbooks, and teachers never tell you. Confidence is not just a nice bonus that comes after you learn English well enough. Confidence is itself a language skill. And like every other skill, it can be learned, practiced, and built deliberately. Think about what happens when you speak without confidence. Your voice gets quieter. Your sentences get shorter. You rush through words to get them over with. You avoid eye contact. You use more filler words out of nervousness, not naturalness. You stop mid-sentence because you are not sure if what you are saying is right. All of these things make your English harder to understand, not because your grammar is wrong or your vocabulary is limited, but because the delivery is breaking down. Now think about what happens when a confident speaker makes a grammar mistake. They keep going. They do not apologize. They do not freeze. The conversation flows right over the mistake, and most listeners do not even notice it. Confidence does not just make you feel better when you speak English. It literally makes your English more effective, more fluent sounding, and more persuasive. It is not optional. It is essential. To build confidence, we first need to understand where the lack of it comes from, because English-speaking anxiety does not appear from nowhere. It has roots, and when you understand the roots, you can start pulling them out. Root number 1, the fear of making mistakes from a very young age. Most of us were taught that mistakes are bad. In school, mistakes meant red marks on your paper. They meant lower grades. They meant embarrassment in front of classmates. So your brain learned a very powerful lesson: making a mistake in language is dangerous. And now, as an adult, that lesson still lives in your nervous system. Every time you are about to speak English and risk making a mistake, your brain sends an alarm signal. Danger. Stop. Do not speak. Root number 2, the fear of judgment. What will people think if my English is not perfect? Will they think I am uneducated? Will they lose respect for me? Will they laugh? This fear is especially powerful in cultures where social image and respect are deeply important. The stakes of speaking imperfectly feel very high. Root number 3, comparison. Comparing your spoken English to native speakers or to people you perceive as more fluent and feeling like you will never measure up. Understanding these 3 roots is the first step, because once you see them clearly, you can start making different choices about how much power you give them. Here is something fascinating about how confidence and language ability actually relate to each other. Most learners believe this: I will be confident when my English is good enough. But research on language learning tells a different story. Confidence and competence do not work in a straight line. Where competence comes first and confidence follows, they work in a loop. When you speak with even a small amount of confidence, you speak more. When you speak more, you practice more. When you practice more, your English genuinely improves. When your English improves, your confidence grows. When your confidence grows, you speak even more. The loop feeds itself in both directions. But here is the critical point. The loop has to start somewhere, and it cannot start with perfection because perfection never comes first. It has to start with action despite imperfection. One small act of speaking English, even badly, even nervously, even with mistakes, is worth more for your confidence and your competence than 100 hours of silent studying. Action first. Confidence follows. Let us look at what genuinely confident English speakers do differently. Because confidence is not just a feeling, it is a set of behaviors. They do not apologize for their English. You will never hear a truly confident speaker say, "Sorry, my English is not very good before." Every sentence, that pre-apology signals weakness and puts the listener on alert. Confident speakers just speak. They embrace pauses. Confident speakers are not afraid of a moment of silence while they gather their thoughts. They do not rush to fill every gap with nervous filler. They pause. They think. They speak when they are ready. They use what they have. When a confident speaker does not know a word, they do not freeze. They describe around it. They rephrase. They find another way. They stay in the conversation. They maintain eye contact. Confidence is physical, not just verbal. Eye contact signals engagement and certainty. It tells the listener, "I know what I am saying and I am comfortable saying it." They recover without drama. When a confident speaker makes a mistake, they correct it calmly and move on. No excessive apology. No self-criticism. Just, "Sorry, I mean." And then they continue. These are all learnable behaviors, not personality traits, behaviors, and you can start practicing every single one of them today. Here is something counterintuitive about confidence and preparation. Many learners think, if I just prepare more, study more, know more grammar, then I will feel confident enough to speak. And preparation does help, up to a point, but beyond a certain level, more preparation without. Speaking practice actually increases anxiety rather than reducing it. Here is why. The more you study without speaking, the higher your internal standards become. You know more and more about how English should sound, but you have no experience of actually producing it. The gap between your knowledge and your performance grows wider, and that gap feels terrifying. This is called the preparation paradox. The very thing you think will give you confidence, more preparation, is actually making you more afraid to speak if it is not balanced with real speaking practice. The solution is not to stop preparing. It is to pair every hour of study with at least some output, some speaking, some production, some real use of the language. Study and speak. Always together. Never one without the other. Here are 6 concrete techniques to build your English speaking confidence starting today. Technique 1, the 2-minute rule. Every day, speak English out loud for at least 2 minutes. It does not matter what you say. Talk about your day. Describe what you see. Give your opinion on something. 2 minutes of speaking every day builds the habit of output and reduces the fear of hearing your own English voice. Technique 2, record and review. Record yourself speaking English for 1 minute. Listen back. Notice what sounds good, not just what sounds wrong. Most learners are surprised to find their English sounds better than they thought. This exercise rewires your self-perception. Technique 3, celebrate mistakes. Every time you make a mistake and keep going, celebrate it internally. That is your brain building resilience. That is confidence being constructed in real time. Reframe mistakes from failures to evidence of progress. Technique 4. Use power phrases. Memorize a set of confident, natural phrases for common situations, starting a point, asking for clarification, buying time to think. Phrases like, "That is a great question. Let me think about that for a moment," or "what I mean." To say is, these give you something solid to hold on to when anxiety hits. Technique 5. Shrink the audience. If speaking in front of many people terrifies you, start with one. One trusted friend. One language exchange partner. One person online. Build confidence in small safe spaces before expanding to bigger ones. Technique 6. Visualize success before a high-stakes English conversation. Spend 60 seconds visualizing it going well. See yourself speaking clearly. See the other person responding positively. See yourself staying calm even if you make a mistake. This technique is used by athletes, performers, and public speakers worldwide. It works because your brain cannot fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Positive visualization literally prepares your nervous system for success. Here is the deepest level of English confidence, and it is something most language courses never touch: your identity. Many learners unconsciously think of themselves as a person who is learning English rather than an English speaker. This might seem like a small difference in wording, but it is a massive difference in how your brain operates. A person who is learning English expects to struggle, expects to make mistakes, expects to feel uncertain, because that is what learners do. An English speaker, even an imperfect one, approaches every conversation from a place of ownership. This is my language too. I have the right to use it. I do not need permission or perfection to speak. Start calling yourself an English speaker. Not a fluent one, not a perfect one, but a speaker. Because the moment you claim that identity, your whole relationship with speaking English begins to shift. The fear does not disappear overnight, but the foundation it stands on starts to crumble. You are not waiting to become an English speaker. You already are one, and every conversation you have in English, however imperfect, is proof of that. Here is what I want you to take away from today. Your English does not need to be perfect for you to speak confidently, and your confidence does not need to be perfect for you to start speaking. You just need to start. One conversation, one sentence, one moment of choosing to speak despite the fear. That is how confidence is built. Not in classrooms, not in grammar books, not in silent study sessions. It is built in the moment you open your mouth, even when your heart is beating fast, and you speak anyway. Do that enough times and something remarkable happens. The fear gets smaller, the English gets easier, and the person you were always capable of being, the confident English speaker, starts showing up more and more. That person is already inside you. Give them a voice. Subscribe to English Out Loud. Speak every day, and we will see you in the next one.